Not fragile like a flower.
Fragile like a bomb. Hello and welcome to episode 32 of Like a Bomb. I'm Bailey,
I am Jiller Mom.
and we are going to surprise each other with a different story about some powerful, strong, something important woman or something unique to women, such as their point of view from something.
Yay,
Words.
women.
Yeah, even though I kind of look like a frat boy right now. Oh, my
Well.
moon isn't glowing anymore.
Aw, I see. It got darker in the corner.
Yeah.
It did.
Because if you're watching in video, my messy dresser, there's this little white moon that's 3D printed, so it actually has the different features of the moon, and the sun was making it glow.
I have my curtains closed. Both curtains are closed, but it's still very bright in here.
Yeah, my curtains are closed, and it's still pretty bright through it, and they're
Yeah.
supposed to be blackout, but I guess Big Lots lied. I got
Yeah.
these in 2019.
These are supposed to be blackouts too. They're supposed to be blackout from Target.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Mm. The
The one in
blackouts
the
that I have downstairs are in my bedroom are.
like these, I guess because they're in the front of the house. And look how bright that is. And
Yeah.
look at my exercise bike that I never use. Um, Mine I have in my room. The only window that's in my room because the attic comes off of my room. There's only one window. It's the front of the house, like the one I just showed you.
Mhm.
I put 2 sets of curtains there because
Yes.
I am a you sleep in the complete dark person. But
The sun
I have
wakes me up, which is really annoying because the sun technically rises earlier now because we ended daylight
change your
savings. So I
stupid
got up
times.
at 7:30 today, and I'm just like,
You
when
got
to
up
sleep
when I
in
got up.
did, except it
Yeah.
was 8 something for you.
Yes. That's funny. That's funny.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have not slept that late in, oh my god, probably years at this point.
Oh yeah, the cats also don't let you sleep in.
No. I don't know how I didn't sleep then. Maybe I was I sleeping on my when I woke up, I was on my good ear. I was laying on this side, so that's why I didn't hear them, because when I sleep on my good ear, I can't really hear them, but I usually don't sleep
Uh-huh.
on that side.
Well,
Huh.
there you go.
Because I had to roll over to check my phone to make sure that the time was really I was, like, not hallucinating the time on my actual clock that was across the room. Yeah. It's a
Great
mess in here.
times.
Yeah. Yes, daylight savings has come and gone. We gained
Yes.
an hour.
Yes, we fell back, so we
Yeah,
gained an hour.
and they keep
So
saying that
we
North Carolina is done doing this, but we keep doing it.
They keep saying they're gonna do it federally, and then there's the debate of economics for keeping daylight savings and then the science of not having daylight savings. As in
Well,
not just changing, but
yeah.
doing the current time we're on, not daylight savings time. So the sun doesn't
Well,
stay out as late and things.
I've read somewhere recently that even, like, states that have like, Native American reservations, the reservations don't always adhere to that
Nope,
change.
Arizona is a wild place to figure out time zones too.
Yeah, and I'm like, I that's too much for me. The fact that I half the time forget that what time it is for you, and you've been there for 8 years. 8 years? That's right?
Yes,
Yes,
8
and it's only an
years.
hour, and when you're on the West Coast, that's 3 hours I'm gonna have to subtract, add, subtract.
Yes. I mean, it
Absolute
was weird
crap.
when I was there for my birthday in 2024, 'cause I was there for a wedding and it coincided with my birthday, and then my dad being like, "Oh, happy birthday," and everything, and I'm just like, "It's
It's not my
not, I'm
birthday
in
yet.
Pacific," or, like, things like that, or, like, trying to
Yeah,
call me, but I'm like, "I'm in Washington State right now? Like, it is early."
yeah, yeah,
Not to
yeah.
mention, I think we were I think the day before my birthday, we were all playing in the river all that day, so I was tired and everything.
Just tired permanently. Like, but I did take a
Same.
lot of pain meds last night, like, more than
Well, I almost
double.
took them last week. I
Yeah.
could finally bend down to do laundry today.
Well,
I
that's
mean, I could
good.
do it earlier this week, but I usually do laundry on the weekends. I couldn't do it at
Eh,
all last weekend.
yeah, I generally do laundry on the weekends, but I haven't gotten to that. I haven't done anything today. I have sat outside and I've talked to you. And I've talked to Grammy for a
Oh,
few
I
minutes.
have talked to you and I started laundry.
I need to find food. Um, and I probably should go run errands and figure out my meal prep for the week. If anybody has any, like, easy peasy meal prep for a woman, single woman who's allergic to the entire world, um, please let me know. Cause yeah, I'm allergic to the entire world and I have
Not just
IBS.
easy, but also not expensive.
Yes, it's not expensive. Yeah, I don't want meatloaf again this week, even though it was really good, so I gotta figure out what I'm gonna have for dinner this
Well, yeah, you
week.
gotta have variety because then you get sick of it.
Yeah, I do think I'm gonna have pasta salad for lunch. I know that nobody out there listening. Oh, and I've decided I thought it was gonna happen this weekend. Maybe it will I don't know. I still have a bunch of stuff to grade and things this weekend, and I really do need to sleep because my head. Um, but I've decided that I am gonna just make these stinking TikTok videos and send them to you, and you can post them.
Yay! Because I
And
still have my other phone that has the TikTok account.
yeah. And your sister and I need to get phones. I need to talk to her about that. She does seem to really like her watch. She texted me
Good.
yesterday about how
Mine's
much she really likes
charging.
her watch.
But mine's
So,
also a Fitbit.
yeah, but she has, I mean, hers is fancier than mine. She's got the 10, I have the 7.
Mhm,
But I got a really good deal on it, so
mhm.
it's okay. Um,
Technology.
yep. Oh, and I apologize now. I don't know that the boys are gonna bother me. I mean, Mister's in
Brody's there
his
taking
normal.
a bath.
Brody's in his Mister. I just called him Mister.
Your baby.
Hmm. Not Mister. Brody is in his apparently normal recording spot.
He
Because
wants to hang out.
this is his
He's
bedroom.
like, "Mommy's in here, I'm coming here."
Yes, that's his bedroom. So, uh, don't know where Finn is. So be warned. Also, my mother, even though I told her that she can't talk to me, and then she stuck out her tongue at me, um, there is no guarantee she is not going to yell for me at the bottom of the stairs because she is packing her car to leave town. Because I kicked her out. No, I didn't. But she needs to go home
No.
and get a break from. I know she needs a break and go home and get that stuff. 'Cause, I mean, sh this is
Yeah.
she lives in 2 places.
I think the next episode, I will have just done my zine fest.
Yes, and I work that weekend, so we'll have to maybe record the weekend before, because I work the weekend before
Or
Thanksgiving, I work that whole weekend all day Saturday and all day Sunday.
I work all day
Yep.
Saturday because I got the zine fest.
We need money, and I don't get paid, and
Teachers are underpaid.
if you're in a right to work state, you can't strike.
No, because
Yay, the
unions are
South.
important, but capitalism said no to unions and other problems.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm ready whenever you are. I mean, I don't go first because it's an even number, so I don't know. I mean,
Yeah, I'm ready. So, and my complaint of soccer, having just finished this season of my adult league soccer, the women's league, where
oh, it was your last
have
game?
I told you this? Yeah, it was my last game of the season, which is why I played with my now even more sprained ankle.
Okay, that's why I was okay, okay.
That's why I played. Um, and so with all of the chaos and just getting angry with that game with the "Mm, not a foul." Like, even the player is just like but of course, it was in her favor, so, like, she didn't care, and other stupid things, and getting a soccer ball to the ear and them not caring because I if you play soccer, it's stupid. It was stupid. I was getting more angry, but I assisted in a goal at the very end of the game. And so, thinking more about soccer, I she wasn't really on my list, but I thought about her because I just played the whole season of soccer, and soccer's been on my mind. I am covering Mia Hamm.
Ah,
Uh,
that's the name that popped in my head when you said because of soccer, and it was like, Mia Hamm. Who else would it be?
exactly. Cause yeah, my number when I was playing soccer in elementary school was 8. And I'm like, "Oh, I kinda want 9 because that's Mia Hamm's number." And so it's Mariel Margaret Mia Hamm. She was born March 17th, 1972, so she is a St. Patrick's Day baby,
She's
and she is a former American professional soccer player. two-time Olympic gold medalist and two-time FIFA's World Cup champion. Hailed as a soccer icon, she played as a
Mhm.
forward for the United States national team from 1987 to 2004, a rather long career. Hamm was the first of the Women's United Soccer Association, WSA, the first professional women's soccer league in the United States, where she played for the Washington Freedom from 2001 to 2003. She played college soccer for the North Carolina Tar Heels, so UNC Chapel Hill, and helped the team win 4 NCAA Division I women's soccer championship titles. So basically, every year she was there, she's like,
We
in the
got this.
D1, we win, we win, we win.
Got
This is
this.
insane.
Yeah.
She is widely considered one of the most influential players of all time. Hamm competed in 4 FIFA Women's World Cups, the inaugural 1991 tournament in China, 1995 in Sweden, 1999 and 2003 in the United States. She led the team at 3 Olympic Games, 1996 in Atlanta, the first time women's soccer was played, 2000 in Sydney, and 2004 in Athens. At those 7 international tournaments, she played in 42 matches and scored 14 goals. Hamm held the record for most international goals scored until 2013 and remains in 3rd place as of 2023. She ranks 4th in the history of the US team for international caps, 276, and 1st for career assists, 144. She was named FIFA World Player of the Year in 2001 and 2002. She was chosen by Pele as one of FIFA's 125 greatest living players in the FIFA 100 to celebrate the organization's 100th anniversary. Hamm was named U.S. Soccer Female Athlete of the Year 5 years in a row and won 3 ESPY awards, so ESPY, including Soccer Player of the Year and Female Athlete of the Year. The Women's Sports Foundation named her Sportswoman of the Year in 1997 and 1999. She was inducted to the National Soccer Hall of Fame, Alabama Sports Hall of Fame, Texas Sports Hall of Fame, North Carolina Soccer Hall of Fame, and was the first woman inducted into the World Football Hall of Fame.
Oh.
So, just a quick rundown and some quick stats. This woman just is soccer.
Yeah.
uh, she is the co-owner of the Los Angeles FC and Angel City FC football club. Hamm is also a global ambassador for FC Barcelona and was on the board of directors of Serie A club AS Roma from 2014 to 2020, following the purchase of the club by the Friedkin Group, author of Go for the Goal, A Champion's Guide to Winning in Soccer and Life. Hamm has been featured in several films and television shows, including the HBO documentary Dare to Dream, the story of the U.S. women's soccer team. So, a little bit of early life. If you're wondering why, the Texas and Alabama State Hall of Fame, well, she was born in Selma, Alabama, and was the 4th of 6 children to Bill and Stephanie Hamm. She wore corrective shoes as a toddler after being born with a club foot. Hamm spent her childhood on various United States Air Force bases around the world with her family. While living in Florence, Italy, that was when the first time she played soccer, which was hugely popular there. Her entire family quickly became involved in the sport. At age 5, then living in Wichita Falls, Texas, she joined her first soccer team. Her father coached Mia and her newly adopted brother, 8-year-old Garrett. Hamm played sports from a young age and excelled as a football player on the boys' team at junior high school. She played at the 1987 U.S. Olympic Festival, the youngest player to play for the United States women's national soccer team. As a new player, she often started as a forward, but not score a goal during her first year on the team. Hamm attended Lake Braddock Secondary School in Burke, Virginia, and helped the Lake Braddock soccer team win the 1989 state championships. And as mentioned, some of her club career with North Carolina Tar Heels, so UNC, and then Washington Freedom. We'll go into some of that. From 1989 to 1993, Hamm attended the University of North Carolina at Chapel Hill, where she helped the Tar Heels win 4 NCAA Division I women's soccer championships in 5 years. She redshirted the 1991 season to focus on preparation. Wow, I can't words. For the inaugural 1991 FIFA Women's World Cup in China. North Carolina lost 1 game and the 95 she played on the team.
Oh, wow.
1.
Wow.
Those are amazing stats.
I don't
Um,
think about soccer
she
and
earned
UNC.
All-American honors, was named the Atlantic Coast Conference (ACC) Player of the Year for 3 consecutive years, and was named ACC Female Athlete of the Year in 1993 and 1994. She graduated from North Carolina in '94 with the ACC records for goals 103, assists 72, and total points 278. In 2003, she and Michael Jordan were named the ACC's greatest athletes of the conference's first 50 years. Hamm was a member of the United States women's national college team that won a silver medal, being defeated by China in the final in the 1993 Summer Universiade in Buffalo, New York. And then her time with the Washington Freedom, which is 2001 to 2003. And so in 2001, Hamm was a founding player in the first professional women's soccer league in the United States, the Women's United Soccer Association, WUSA, and played for the Washington Freedom from 2001 to 2003. Throughout the league's history, Hamm was hailed as the star of the league and used heavily in marketing and promotion, which, of course, why not? You are kind of the face of women in soccer right now and have been for years.
Yes.
Um, in a poll of 1,000 advertising executives conducted in 2001, she was voted the most appealing female athlete, garnering almost twice as many votes as the runner up, Anna Kournikova. I'm sorry, I mispronounced her name. So I guess she's at least conventionally attractive. I mean,
Yeah.
I haven't seen pictures of her recently, so that probably helps a lot too, because, well,
Yes,
people are
that's it.
biased.
Yes.
And so during the league's inaugural match between the Freedom and Bay Area Cyber Rays at RFK Stadium in Washington, D.C., Hamm was fouled in the penalty area, resulting in a penalty kick that her teammate, Pritina, converted to mark the first goal scored in the league. The Freedom won 1-0. In addition to the over 34,000 fans in attendance being greater than any MLS game that weekend, which is a U.S. soccer league, the Turner Network Television (TNT)
Yeah.
broadcast reached 393,000 households,
Wow.
more than 2 MLS games broadcast on ESPN and ESPN2. Playing as a midfielder and a forward, Hamm played in 19 on the Freedom's 21 matches during the 2001 season. She led the team in goals, 6 and 4 assists. The Freedom finished in 7th place during the regular season with a 6-12-3 record. So 6 wins, 12 losses in overtime, 3 losses total. She unfortunately suffered a knee injury in November 2001 that kept her off the field, for several months of early 2002. Despite playing only in half of the 2002 season with the Freedom, she finished the season with 8 goals. The team finished in 3rd place during the 2002 season with an 11-5-5 record. So 11 wins, 5 overtime losses, 5 losses, and advanced to the playoffs. And after winning the semifinal against the Philadelphia Charge 1-0, the team was defeated 3-2 by the Carolina Courage in the 2002 WUSA Founders Cup. Hamm scored the Freedom's second goal in the 64th minute. During the 2003 season, Hamm started in the 16 and 19 games in which she played. Her 11 goals ranked second on the team behind Abby Wambach's 13, while her 11 assists ranked first. The Freedom finished 4th place during the regular season with 9-8-4 record and secured a berth in the playoffs. Hamm finished her club career as a WSA champion with the Freedom defeated the Alabama beat 2-1 in overtime to win the Founders Cup on August 24th, 2003. And so in retirement, uh, Hamm announced her retirement on May 14th, 2004, effective after the 2004 Athens Olympics. Following the 2004 Olympics, her and her teammates played in a 10-game farewell tour in the United States. The final match of the tour against Mexico at the Home Depot Center in Carson, California on December 8, 2004, marked the final international match for Hamm, Julie Foudy, and Joy Fawcett. The U.S. defeated Mexico 5-0, and Hamm
Oh.
assisted on 2 of the goals. She retired at age 32 with a record 158 international goals. She and teammates Foudy and Fosse were honored with a pre-game ceremony where they were presented with framed jerseys and roses in front of 15,500 fans at Home Depot Center in Carson, California. During the win against Mexico, Ham provided the assist on the first two goals. Very redundant. I believe this was already stated. Following her retirement, her number 9 jersey was inherited by midfielder Heather O'Reilly. So, into her international career, she was on the women's national team from 1987 to 2004. She made her debut for the United States women's national soccer team at age 15 in 1987, just 2 years after the team played its first international match. She was the youngest player ever to play for the team. She scored her first goal during her 17th appearance. She competed in 4 FIFA Women's World Cups tournaments, and she led the team at 3 Olympic Games, including 96 in Atlanta and 2000 Sydney and 2004 in Athens. She played 42 matches and scored 14 goals in the international tournaments. She held the record for most international goals scored by a woman or man until 2013 and remains in third place as of 2017. And as we stated at the top, that is still as relevant. Third place is in 2023. Um, and so it was 91 FIFA Women's World Cup when she was 19. She was still the youngest player on the team. And then their first match of the tournament, she scored the game-winning goal in the 62nd minute, leading the U.S. to a 3-2 win over Sweden. And then the 95 FIFA Women's World Cup, and then the Atlanta Olympics, I believe, is when she scored her 100th international goal. Like, this woman's done so much and so many
Uh-huh.
big things. 3 Olympics, 4 World Cups. So she is regarded as one of the greatest female soccer players of all time. She was an athletic, dynamic, and technically gifted striker, which is a forward, renowned for her speed, skill, footwork, stamina, and ability on the ball, as well as her consistency, which consistency is key. There's that phrase for a reason. An excellent agile dribbler, she was highly regarded for her control as well as her grace, pace, and elegance in possession. A prolific goal scorer, she was known for her powerful and accurate striking ability. Although she was also a creative and hardworking forward, and a team player, she was equally capable of assisting many goals for her teammates. So at least she's not a ball hog. She can be a team player. Due to her accurate passing, she was also willing to aid her teammates defensively when possession was lost. She was capable of playing in any offensive position, which we've mentioned. She is prominently a striker and a forward, but she's also a midfielder, which is kind of both offensive and defensive, especially depending on how the team wants to do their formation and what position you are as a midfielder in that formation. So, and how the other team is also playing. So a little bit of personal life. She was first married to her college sweetheart, Christian Corey, a United States Marine Corps helicopter pilot. They divorced in 2001 after being married 6 years. She married then Boston Red Sox shortstop Nomar Garcia Parra in November 22nd, 2003 in California. And a ceremony attended by a few hundred guests. Big wedding. And then March 2007, she gave birth to twin girls, and they had a son in January 2012. And so a little bit of philanthropy, as most often you'll see a famous figure, they usually do some sort of philanthropy. And so in 1999, Hamm founded the Mia Hamm Foundation following the death of her adopted brother Garrett in 1997
Oh.
from complications of aplastic anemia, a rare blood disease he had endured for 10 years. Dedicated to promoting awareness of and raising funds for families in need of a bone marrow or cord blood transplant, the foundation encourages people to register in the National Bone Marrow Registry and provides funds to UNC Healthcare and Children's Hospital Los Angeles. It also focuses on creating opportunities to empower women through sport. Hamm hosts an annual celebrity soccer game in Los Angeles to support the foundation. So yeah, that most of the stuff at the top of was the big quick cover. And then there's all the more specific details, minus a few of the World Cups and the Olympics about Mia Hamm.
She is women's soccer. Like, even
Yet, like,
today, she's
you can go to the
still
Wikipedia page and see all the stats of all the games she's played. You can see more on her honors and awards. Uh, but once again, we've already touched some of those, but you can go and dive deeper if you would like. But, you know, that's there's so much.
yeah, she's
Sometimes the details
yeah,
just get lost and you don't care about the numbers as much, you wanna know the overall and some
yeah,
other nitty-gritty. And
yeah.
so, yeah, that's, my covering of Mia Hamm.
Yay! I actually am shocked that she's older than me because I remember hearing all these things, the 90s and the early 2000s, all that stuff, like, I can remember that, and I
Mhm.
just always was like, she's so young." She's significantly older than me. I mean, 5 years, but
I
5
mean,
years is a whole kindergartner, so
yeah, but 5 years also isn't that significant in some regards.
yeah, right
Yeah.
now, yeah, not really. And I'd like to apologize for any, banging, moving, kicking, purring,
Is there a cat
Finn.
on the desk?
No, there was. Finn Finn decided, and he yells when he don't give him the attention that he wants. So I was like, that's why I was like moving things everywhere, and he's like going everywhere, and I'm like trying to pet him and hold him and get him on my lap because he meows every time you stop petting him, and but now Birdie found a bug and ate it, and then of course Finn wanted to know what he was eating, and
You have
so
toddlers.
they have
And then Piper
left.
is like, "Look at them, they're following me in the bathroom and on the table." And it's like,
Yep.
"They're toddlers forever."
Yes. As soon as you have children, you don't go to the bathroom alone, ever.
Yeah, as you've
Yeah.
told us.
Yes.
And other parents have told me, it was just like, "Yeah, the toddlers are just always on you."
Yes, you don't like, I shut the door now because I have a cat who destroys
Yeah, Finn gets in the toilet paper and scratches it up.
more Brody. Like,
Oh, I thought it was Finn.
Brody will even attack it if it's in the plastic. Like, I thought I was safe when I was bringing a package of toilet paper upstairs and set it on my bed before I went to go put it in the
What's this
bathroom.
cat got beef with toilet paper for?
And well, he also likes plastic bags too, and they just jumped on
They
something.
chew on
I
them.
don't know what they're doing. I don't know.
Cats.
They're crazy, crazy today. Okay. Um, so I knew who I was gonna do, that I knew enough background of her story, and then I looked for it and I was like, now I gotta put this in notes. And I said, ChatGPT. And so I said, take this information and put it in nice little condensed notes. And it did. And it did it in two different ways. So
Chaos.
yes, which is my life, because I'm sorry, it's been a crazy week. But I picked this topic because um I don't know what book or audiobook or podcast I listened to sometime over the summer. And so heard about this person, Virginia Randolph. She was very much into it was an education. She's education.
Yeah, I think I've heard her name before.
And I was like, well, this is a week where education is like peak right now because, oh my, right now in North Carolina, there is call to action and we're a right to work state. And so we can't technically strike. We can be sick outs, but we can't even do that really because we could technically get fired. And we are one of the lowest paid and lowest teacher working conditions in the entire country, and it's not getting better, and it's not gonna get better, and our General Assembly has not passed a budget, and it is November. They're not even in session right
And not
now.
only is there a government shutdown, there's state.
Yes. So, there's a lot of craziness going on with education last year, worse than ever. So I picked her because she contributed a lot to education. So I'm just gonna kinda go through this. She was born in 1870. So let's be honest, that's a long time ago, like a really long time
Yes.
ago. She was born in Richmond, Virginia.
155 years.
Yes. Yes. So part of the reason I was, like, so fascinated when I first heard her story because 'cause they're like, "Virginia, Virginia, Virginia," and I was like, "Hey, I know those places." And that was nice too. So she was born in Richmond, Virginia to Nelson Edward and Sarah Carter Randolph. They were formerly enslaved people. So she's first generation not enslaved. I mean, granted, she was born in 1870. If you don't know, the Civil War ended in 1865. Yes, 1865. So we have a Emancipation Proclamation. We have all of these things that are in law, but don't necessarily.
Not in practice.
Yes, and especially in the South. Um,
Yep. Because
so
Richmond, Virginia was not that great and,
and
was the capital
capital
of the
of the
Confederacy.
Confederacy. Yes, and people see and I love it when you see maps of the South and they put Virginia never as the South, and I'm like, "Virginia
Mason-Dixon line is above Virginia, and Virginia
Virginia
is problematic.
Virginia is the
But they
South."
did just vote a Democratic mayor.
They did. They went pretty
Governor.
Chesterfield, I think, went completely blue, is what I saw.
Oh!
I saw that it looked like Chesterfield was blue now, which I was like, "Okay, proud of you guys." Um,
I'm gonna
don't
go
live
back
there
home.
anymore, but yay, Chesterfield.
Yeah.
But so she was born think about it at a time where even though there's all these laws, like we talked about when we talked about segregation before, there were federal laws for desegregation, but that does not mean that it was actually in practice in states because states were going states' rights, and states have certain rights, yes, because that's the way our constitution was set up. Um,
Mhm.
I'm I'm having to look at a lot of social studies stuff this year, so um
And I have made a zine about your basic Bill of Rights.
yes, and there are things I know. I mean, and there's things that I forget because there's only so much I can fit in here, and it falls out through the brain that's not in my skull. Um, that's my new excuse now. I started it this week sometime. Um, sorry, don't mind me. Um, but the world was very different back then. So we're talking about a black woman in the South from her parents were just enslaved. Like they grew up enslaved people. Her father died in, 19 not 19 1874, so she was only 4 years old. So her mother had to raise the 6 kids while working as a domestic. And so basically that's just people that were not enslaved anymore, but were doing the jobs of formerly enslaved people because they needed there wasn't a lot of jobs they could get. Let's
People
can
are still
be
very racist.
Yes, and they weren't even considered whole people. Like, what,
No, the
3/5 of a human being?
3/5 compromise or whatever and
Yes.
whatnot.
Yes, they were not even considered,
History.
like, whole people, which, there is what it is. So, in the 19 not I keep saying the 19 and I had a student the other day when I was talking about something happening a while ago, and she goes, "The 1900s?" And I was like, "Actually, it was in the 2000s, but I love that you thought that was funny." Whatever, I'm old.
As
In the
someone that's
eight
a product barely of the
yeah,
1900s.
fairly, fairly. I do like to remind people, I was like and they're like, "Well, your kids" da, da, da. I was like, "Well, one of my kids was born in the 1900s." Like, mhm. Um, granted, barely again. So in the
Still
18
very much prominently in there.
yes, you got in there. I mean, you weren't even at the end of the year, you were, like, smack dab pretty much in the middle. But 1880s, she did go to public school in Richmond. It was the first Baker school. It was public school for Black students in Richmond. Um, and then the Richmond Colored Normal School, which was a teacher preparation institution. So, basically, she went to school, got some basic education. Of course, this was not like a school that, like, the white kids were going to. They had better facilities and better things. This was states do run education. There's federal education, but that didn't start till under Carter, which I think we've also, like, brought up that the Department of Education didn't start until Carter, which I was
Yes,
born under
and Reagan tried
President
to
Carter.
demolished the Department of Education as soon as he got in office after Carter.
Yeah, and, like, I was born when Carter was in office, so it's not that old. I mean,
No, it's still
I'm old,
pretty
but
new.
not that old. So I'm almost 50, so still not that old considering our country has been around for 250 years about. Next
Almost
year it'll be
250 next year
Mhm.
as its own official institution in the 76 and whatnot. You
Yes.
know, history.
Yes. So, she did attend regular public school as far as for Black students, and then she wanted to be a teacher because there aren't a lot of jobs for women, so really, that's still kind of a thing, but back then, we're talking the 1800s, like, there
Yeah,
weren't
to
a
be a
lot of jobs
teacher, to
for
be a
women.
secretary, it's this,
Yes, and
known for
especially
your
we're talking
pensmanship and things.
Yes, and granted, she could only teach Black students, she could not teach white students regardless of having a degree or an education in teaching. Um, so in at age of 16, she completed her teacher training and began her lifelong mission to educate others and begins literally teaching. So in I'm sorry, I'm going over, like, multiple thing. So she is 16 years old, finishes their teaching prep, so now she can be a teacher even if she okay, right to women to vote didn't start until 1920, and
And
that
that
was
was only
white
for white
women.
women.
Yep, that was only for white women. So, I think it's funny that ChatGPT, when they're condensing the notes, said, "Fun fact, she began teaching before she was old enough to vote, even if she still couldn't vote."
She couldn't vote. But yeah,
Y
she started young before
Yeah.
we now socially consider that an adult.
Yes. Like, we learned about the frontal lobe and things, you
Which,
know
yeah.
impulse, I guess, because teachers shouldn't hit their kids, which, there's
But then you
actually
still have 22-year-olds as teachers. They're still not
eh
technically fully developed.
no, and also they're 22, and if you're teaching high school, you're and seniors, you're pretty much their age. I couldn't imagine.
Yeah, I don't think fresh out of college, like,
No.
22 should be teaching high school.
No, I think that's weird, but
I think
then
it's just
again
weird with the you're basically the same age.
yes, I remember my senior year, we had a new earth science teacher, and I was on the paper. And I somehow, I don't know how this happened, but I got to do, like, the cool articles. Maybe because I came to the journalism teacher and said, "Hey, what about this topic?" And she's like, "Sure, go for it." This was the mid-90s, and they really didn't care. A yearbook I think it was my junior yearbook or maybe my senior yearbook, there's a whole two-page spread about, a mom and her baby, and it was not like don't get pregnant in high school. It was more, this is how we make it work. Like, it was very weird. So I did like an article about teenagers smoking and had interviews, and then I got to do one about Gen X because
Mhm.
I'm at the lower end of it. Like I'm
Yeah,
almost aged out. I think Jake's even still in it. So I think like Jake's the youngest that it
I
can
think
be.
millennials start in 1980.
Yeah. So that means that Jake's like 1979. So
Mhm.
Um, and your dad's 79 too. Um,
Yes.
and I'm
So both
77.
Jake and my dad are still barely
Yes.
Gen X.
Yes. So I did an article in Gen X and we had this new earth science teacher and he was of course Gen X and gorgeous and cool because that was like he had longer hair and he wore flannel and was like, "Yay." And I'm like interviewing him going, "We're almost the same age. This is weird. Like,
Yeah, because then you
this is
have
weird."
all sorts of other problematic dynamics that I'm not
Yeah.
saying you like
It
22-year-olds can't teach high school. It's just it makes
they
it
can.
awkward and weird because then there's also the teenagers who are
Who
even less developed that are gonna try and flirt
Yes,
and
and who
date
are
the
gonna be
teacher and other
weird about it.
inappropriate things.
Yes. Yes, who are gonna make it weird. But I remember going, "This is weird because I am going to a teacher to interview you," because I'm interviewing people of different ages within the generation,
Mhm.
because this is '95, and so a lot of stuff 94, 95, a lot of media emphasis on we're like the lazy generation, we don't do anything, we don't care, not okay, we don't
That's the
care,
same
but
thing, and Gen Z's got it, I'm sure millennial had it,
yeah,
and I'm like
so
the cusp of millennial and Gen Z. In fact, some things I've told to you about this before, put both of us in millennials at
Yeah,
different times.
yeah. I just my generation's usually left off most lists, so it's fine. I don't care. We're like the forgotten generation. Um, but there was a point to all this. What was uh
Teachers and her being a 16 starting to teach.
yeah, so like it's we I mean 22-year-olds are young. So she began her career in Goochland County. Again, this is still Virginia. It is way more rural. Not that Richmond was all that industrious in the 1800s, but it still was way, 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 way. It was a big city. Like Richmond
Yeah, it
was
was
a
still a pretty
big
major
city.
city.
Yes, again, it was the capital of the Confederacy, big city. Port City, Richmond's, or I mean, Rivers. Yeah, whatever. Um, so she started teaching in Goochland County. It was then called Hanover County. So, you know, lines change. And then she can. So in 1894, she gets a position with Henrico County School Board and begins teaching in a one-room mountain road school in Henrico County. Hey, Henrico, that is where your cousins live, unless they moved. I don't think they moved.
She moved when I was in college.
Yeah, so I think they're still established. They're still in Henrico.
I don't
I
know.
thought they were still in Henrico. I don't know.
I haven't
Maybe
been
they're
there.
not. Anyhow, this was a it's literally a one building, and she had to repair the building, plant flowers, and she started Willing Worker Club. Like, so she involved students and parents to help fix up things. Like, there was a mud road, so when it rained, they everything slid down. She usually often used her own money to buy supplies and materials, which again, that hasn't changed. Like,
No, it hasn't.
yeah,
But
if we
hey, at
talk,
least, volunteering extracurricular for the kids and more
yes,
skills.
yes. So it is what it is. Um, and she undertakes improvements, whitewash the building, planting flowers, buying driveway gravel. Like I said, this was a mud red clay hill. She also traveled to homes in the county to help get more help. But even helping, like this is a school for Black students. Like the parents didn't have much. This is still, even though we're in like the late
90s, 1800s.
1800s, and it's still like there's not much. But the students did help. They learned responsibility and work ethic by helping with these things. Even though like you're not really getting paid for it, you're doing it for your own benefit. It still builds a work ethic, but like you can actually be proud of something that you're doing because it is making you're a part of a
And you can
more
physically
successful.
see it.
Yes, and it makes it more beautiful. And I know everybody's like, well, that doesn't matter. It does when you
It
are.
does mentally help.
Yes. It's a mental health kinda thing, it's not uh, a vain thing. It's not
Yeah,
a
like, if you're
vanity.
in a cluttery, messy room like my office currently is, it makes it harder to focus and get things
Yes.
done when you're
Yes,
focusing on that.
it really does help. Like, my classroom is so crazy organized that I reorganize and then I can't find things. But it is what it is. She conducted the first ever Arbor Day program for a Black school in Virginia in 1908. And by the way, that is my favorite holiday. So I do accept gifts, cards, plant some trees for me.
Would you like to
Um,
elaborate when Arbor Day is every year? So
it's
for those who
usually
don't know?
it's in April. It's usually sometimes it falls on Earth Day. It's usually around the same day as Earth Day. I can't remember. Let's look up what it
So,
is
like, it's
this
a
year.
set, like, this day in April, kinda like
Yeah,
Thanksgiving.
it's kind of like Earth Day, where Earth Day sometimes changes.
No, Earth Day doesn't change.
It used to.
It hasn't my whole life. I
Arbor Day.
think Earth Day is always, like, the 22nd of April.
Why do you need my location to tell me this? It's April 25th this year. I mean, yes, April 25th. And then it says Nebraska. Why does it say that? I don't
Because
I
you're
don't
gonna go to Nebraska.
I don't know that I need to go to Nebraska, but Arbor Day,
Mm,
and in case you didn't know, Arbor Day is because to usually plant trees is what people do, because it's talking about the conservation of trees.
Uh-huh.
So they planted 12 sycamore trees, naming them after each of the 12 biblical disciples. So, but we also have to keep in mind this is, I mean, there was no, even if there was separation of church and state by this point, legally, I don't think there was. It was still not separated, and even we don't have separation now in a
But
lot of places.
well, it's gotten worse.
Yes,
But I
that's my point.
mean, religion was especially important at that time for, and again, I'm white. um, but from my understanding of how important religion has been,
Yes, it is very
for
culturally.
Black people, to get through and everything,
Yes. That's why they had the different hymns and gospels that they would
yeah,
sing.
that's how they got by, is
And
trying to keep their cultures alive and
yes,
other things, and
and
yeah.
that's how they were able to sneak it in,
Mhm.
because a lot of the white workers, would not
The
think of it.
colonizers.
Huh?
The
I'm sorry?
colonizers.
Well, it wasn't just the colonizers, it was people who were
I
just working
know,
the
but
plant
it's still
stations. Yes. Yes. The oppressor? Yes. Yes.
yes.
Um, so and then became the first gene supervised industrial teacher in Henrico County, supervising more than 20 rural schools. So, okay, what those were is they were Booker T. Washington had like, and I know there's a lot of controversy there, is that he did support segregation, to the extent that he did special things for Black schools and not to integrate, but for Black students to have better opportunities. And I know there's a lot of controversy now that he didn't push for desegregation as a Black man. Um, but that was more because at the time, like that really wasn't an option. Like there wasn't a thought that that was an option. So the
Yeah, and he's
option,
supporting them having their Black culture and heritage and other things that they can hold on to, the little they
yes,
do know.
yes, he was supporting building up the Black community and not pushing for desegregation. It was more about focusing on just building them up so they're sustainable, like, so that because at the
Yeah.
time, they were I mean, their parents or themselves were formerly enslaved, and they needed the education, they needed working skills, like, so and these were they under the Jeans Foundations, they were also known as, and I'm literally reading this, it's not me saying it, the Negro Rural School Funds, because they were more in rural counties. They were given curriculum, they were given community organizational corporations like cooperation. They were given assistance to teachers to help them figure out best ways to prepare their students, based on how many you have, based on what their ages are, those kind of things. And so her method became known as the Henrico Plan as she distributed gene supervisors across the South. So again, there is controversy about these kind of schools. They were more industrial because they were more about getting into the workforce, some form of workforce, and then we're now in the beginning of the 1900s, which, there's industry there. I mean, we're
Lots
making,
of industry booms.
yes.
Depending
Think
on how
far.
far you are in the 1900s, we go into World War One.
Yeah. I mean, but like, let's go think about like, it used to be there was a cotton gin, like that's industry. Like that is actually a machine that does something that people used to do.
And
That
industrial stuffs, yep.
Yes. So, it was teaching, and they have vocational schools that are still out there now. Um, and there are ones that are separate from public education because they are usually for people who are transitioning from maybe halfway houses and things like that, who have had other issues or situations. She participated in founding the colored branch of the Red Cross in Virginia, and served on the committee in charge of food supplies. Served for the Board of Juvenile Reform. through the Virginia Industrial School for Colored Girls, and on the executive committee of, again, I'm reading, these are the names of the organizations, Negro Organization Society, advocating for better schools, better health, better homes, and better farms. Again, this was a focus to just improve in a time where they came from nothing. As soon as you get your freedom, you're kinda, yes, there was the 40 acres and a mule.
Which was not always given. I
Yes,
don't know
which
any that were given.
yes, that's why there's a lot of, push for
Reparations.
reparations because they weren't given their 40 acres and a mule. And so then it's like, are there 40 acres? There's a lot of questions about a lot of that still to this day because it didn't happen. So they, but then she actually helped establish, so the Henrico Industrial School was actually renamed the Virginia E. Randolph Training School in her honor in 1915. William E. Harmon Award for Distinguished Achievement in Education and recognition of her contributions to education. Like, she had schoolhouses burned down on her and she rebuilt them. Um,
Good for her.
yes, she worked every single
Guessing those
day.
were purposely targeted?
Some of them were accidents because
Okay,
things happen. But
that's
yes,
good.
one of I know of one that was a purposeful burn down. Um, but she worked every day of the week, like every single day of the week. And you lived in these places, like, you were there. Granted, she did travel because she was a supervisor, and she did, like, help with the training and things like that, but she also worked, like, she gave flowers, she gave food, she gave clothing, she did everything she possibly could. She basically raised these children. Some of them didn't have parents, or their parents were constantly working, or Virginia, it's not as much of a coal state as, West
West
Virginia,
Virginia?
but they do have miners, they do have like, there's plantations everywhere. So, that's when I go, "You're saying Virginia is not a Southern state?" Literally, almost every field trip I have been on as a Virginia student was to Williamsburg, Jamestown, or a plantation. Um, I think I've been to as many founding fathers' homes as they are possible for us to go to. So Monticello, like, all those things. So, brain fart again. She educators through the South raised funds to establish the Virginia Randolph Fund to support rural education initiatives in her honor. Virginia State College, now Virginia State University, award her a certificate of service for work for education. It is in Colonial Heights, Petersburg. Your grandmother took some classes there. So yes. Her teaching method and motto became a blueprint for Black rural schools across America. She personally trained teachers who went on to work in neighboring counties, multiplying her influence beyond one classroom because she was a trainer. And she passed away in 1958 in Richmond, Virginia. In 1970, the Virginia Randolph Home Economics Cottage on the grounds of the training school is dedicated as a museum in her memory.
Good.
The museum building is designated as a National Historic Landmark by the U.S. Department of Interior, so she is recognized federally. The
Good.
Library of Virginia honors her as one of the its Women Virginia Women in History for the year in 2009. Let's see. She started when she started teaching, she only had 14 students, but by the time she was done, she had 400 students because she was technically a supervisor of everything, too.
That's
Um,
so many.
yes. So her key contributions to education, she was a pioneer in vocational education. So vocational means you are being trained for a vocation, meaning a job,
Like a
not
trade.
just, yes. Like, basic education now is we're just teaching you. We're giving you an overall very long education of 13 years. And then from there, you can specialize. Yes, there are vocational schools and early colleges and all these other things.
And
And
there's
every
still
state,
some specialized programs you can do in high school and
yes.
things like that, and even
eh,
some middle schools.
And if you're OCS, like you are of special needs, they teach you a different way of preparing you for possibly having an opportunity, even if you're working in something like a living in a halfway house, so that you have skills that, um, but education has very much changed, and every state is different because education is more state governed. There are federal things, but it is more state governed. And she started, and the vocational started as elementary level, and for Black children, and they, again, segregated for that reason, integrating academics with sewing, gardening, carpeting, home economics, and community improvement. So, when you think about it, that's very pretty well-rounded. We aren't really pushing helping people learn about being involved in their community. That's not, like, an educational thing. I mean, granted,
That's an
I
extracurricular.
yes, I am the Beta Club sponsor yet again.
Yes,
And
yet
that is a
again.
sort yes, it's a service organization. I'm also on the family engagement committee at my school, which,
And there's Key
is
Club, and there's other organizations, like, the
yes, like
amount of volunteering I did with JROTC, a
yeah,
lot.
so there's
You can just do it on your own
organizations,
too.
but you don't get that as, like, the 8 to 3 education. It's outside of that, and that's only if you kinda choose to be a part of that, which is sad because that's why our communities and a lot of schools are in communities that need the extra outreach, which is hard. So she believed in educating the head, heart, hands, and spirit, academics, manual arts, character, and community. Her creation of Willing Workers Clubs, self improvement leagues, and engagement of parent community in the work of schools was innovative in rural Black education. Um, there also there weren't schools. Like these are people that are just now not enslaved. So when she started this is the beginning of people. Granted, it's not the beginning technically completely because she was born at the after Civil War. But again, the South did not necessarily enforce the letting
Nope.
people go. Um, she developed and documented the Henrico Plan, a systematic method for supervising and improving rural Black schools, which became a blueprint for other gene supervisors in the South and internationally. She was the first countywide gene supervising industrial teacher, um, in 1908. And it's funny because it was an audiobook when I first heard about this because they kept saying jeans, and I was like, "Is it because they wear jeans?" Because if you didn't know, the jeans were, not like, no fashion designer created jeans. Actually enslaved, Black enslaved people invented jeans, because it was something cheap and easy to make, and then later they realized it was also a fashion statement, so it became a fashion thing, and I thought that's what they were talking about, I was so confused, but it's actually somebody's name. Um, and her role, it gave her the opportunity to travel throughout the counties and train and supervise curriculum and community involvement, but she got to travel and see things, and she learned from those things like every person in education. If you're in education and you are not learning and growing as a person, then you need to get out of education because that's literally what we all do as people. And you can't promote growth in students if you can't grow. She helped raise funds for and established industrial arts high schools. Um, for Black youth in Henrico County in the early 1910s, aiming to extend vocational training beyond the elementary level. Her legacy endures in scholarship funds, the Virginia Randolph Fund, named schools, museums, recognition of Black rural education efforts. Um, she's a woman, and this is an occupation that was highly women, but ruled by men who started this because people didn't listen to women, so men had to start it. Um, But it's also for people that were so marginalized and still are, um, and a minority and still considered it they still are numerically a minority, in this country, and fighting that, especially in the South,
I
and
mean, yeah, there's still all the systematic issues too.
yes, yes, and even though, again, a lot of people think that Virginia is not the South,
It so very much is.
she was born 5 years after the end of the Civil War, which For Richmond, Virginia was the capital of the Confederacy. You can't deny that it was not a Southern controlled state and still is a Southern controlled state, even if they're going more blue. Um,
Yeah, they're
the
rather purple now, or even
yes,
more
like
blue.
I would argue it's way more Southern than my Southern state that I'm in now. Well, the part that I'm
We're
in.
also in Raleigh.
Yes. Well, I'm not, but yes. Um, where I'm at is very confusing because I think it's
Yes.
it's just look at my one street and the things like the flags and the things you see out, and it's like, wow, this is weird.
Still in
Um,
the South. Mhm.
yes, it's definitely south, but it's pretty divided here, which is nice considering it's a very small town. Um, but she made like such an impact in a time where women, especially Black women, granted, her impact was for Black students and not pushing for desegregation, but there was a reason they wouldn't push for desegregation. Like, that wasn't an option or a thought process. Like, it wasn't, "We need to get all the students together because they're all equal human beings." It was, "We need to get our Black families what they need," and it wasn't, and I think that says a lot more than people are judging it now instead of saying, she did something that was incredible, and the people that were, created all these things still did something
Doing what she
really
could with what
incredible.
she had.
Yes, like,
She did a
sh
lot.
she did a lot and didn't have anything. So, I mean, her parents didn't have anything, and her dad died when she was 4 and raised by her mother who didn't have, very much, and she had to work as a domestic because she didn't have much other skills. And that's not saying a negative towards that person, that's just saying, like, you have the skills that you're given. Like,
And you
having
don't always have a chance to branch out, especially if you've been
Mhm.
doing something for a few years. It's like, well,
Yes.
that's the only thing you're gonna do.
Yes. So, I thought that made sense to do her since we're in a crazy time for education right now, and the idea of what's gonna happen in the future for education is even scarier. But let's go.
Yay.
Mm,
Virginia Randolph.
yes. She was pretty impressive, and there is a ton of things you can like, the, Virginia Excite let me read this. Virginia Humanities, Virginia Encyclopedia of Virginia. So, like, there is, like, there's tons of stuff. There's an Henrico, website, like, the city of Henrico, there's a website that gives stuff about her, like, it she is very well recognized in Virginia now. I mean, I just now looked her up. Well, I looked her up when I read saw this first story, but I mean, who knows how long it took for Virginia to put all this recognition into her because she is not a typical white plantation owner. Uh,
I mean, people also didn't we know so much and everything. There's every place has a street that's Martin Luther King Jr. At
Everywhere.
first, okay,
Yeah,
cruising
yes.
along.
Yeah, so it and I'm not dissing Virginia because I love Virginia. You will always be in my heart whether I ever live in there or not again, but it says a lot, like, that people are growing and learning, and if you don't learn, like Monument Avenue has been, I think, significantly changed, in the last 10 years, which,
Yes,
again, is
and
Richmond.
whatever you wanna think about it, I think that is for the best, like, compared directly to some other atrocities, Germany purposely took all the Nazi things down because you should not be honoring people who did terrible things or not good people. That's what the monument is.
Yes, and
You can
that's
still teach it and other things and be educated, but you don't need
but
to
we shouldn't
honor
be
them.
honoring them, which I think it was hilarious. There was a proposed and when the monuments are coming down, they should replace them with characters from Gwar, and put them
Well,
up.
there's a Guar, monument now.
There's Gwar Bar because I mean, Richmond's Gwar. There's a Gwar Bar in Richmond, and I think they have coffee too now. Yep, and my special education teacher that works with me, sent me last night not last night, yesterday because he was out, because he participated in the sick out, but because he was out and I had an IEP, I did not participate, and I somebody else used my sub. But he sent me that there's a Groupon for Guar's Greenboro show, and I was like, "They have a Groupon? Like, what is happening to the world?" I'm so
Hey, they were
confused.
here for my wedding.
They were there for your wedding, but they
Which is wild.
yeah, Raleigh doesn't like them, so
Why does
they don't
Raleigh not like them?
they just don't. The first time they were gonna have a show when we moved here, the city of Raleigh canceled on them, and so and then they didn't try and come back for a couple years, so they rarely play Raleigh. Um,
Screw you,
they did play
Raleigh.
was it last year? I think it was last year that Rachel went with me, so they played Raleigh at the Ritz, like,
No, 2
last
years
year.
ago, you went.
Was it 2 years?
Yes,
Well, I
you've been
don't
married for
know.
2 years.
It's yeah, okay. I didn't realize it was that long ago because
You went
everything
after my
that's
wedding,
true, I did, and I gotta buy the
and Morgan
tickets.
was complaining about going to see them in Richmond with his girlfriend?
Yeah,
I
girlfriend at the
haven't
time?
asked, I don't keep
I don't
updates, we're
know,
not as
but,
close anymore.
um and I need to buy the tickets for your sister and I to go see the Casualties, in December, which I keep
I
forgetting to
got no
do because
concert plans, but I did see Linkin Park, and oh my god. I have complaints about how the floor tickets were because it kinda sucked that way. I didn't get to really enjoy it because there was, like, no
yeah.
floor, and then the whole floor was a pit, and then they had, like I hear the cat crunkling paper.
I have a paper on the floor, and because Brody likes all paper products and plastic products, he is attacking my paper. I don't know. What are you doing, bud? Hey,
He's being
demon.
special, cause that's cats.
Hi, Brody. Hi. You want to come say hi to your sister? Come say hi
And
to your big
to the
sister?
podcasters, viewers, say
Where'd
hi
you
to
go?
Brody if
Oh,
he'll
I don't know
come
where he
up.
went. What are
He's
you doing?
hiding.
No, it's literally
The
right there.
baby here in a
Come say hi
moment.
to your
Mm,
sister. You want to say hi to
there's a
your sister?
voidling.
Oh, nope.
Oh, I can't see the cat.
Say hi to
He's
your
hiding.
sister. Say hi.
Hi,
Uh-oh. What did you do
Brody.
to my camera? What are you doing? Don't hit the buttons. Say
He
hi.
he just doesn't want to be squished. He doesn't like being picked up.
He likes being picked up. He likes being hugged.
Oh, okay, next time I'll hug him.
He likes because he'll put his little head right here. His favorite hug time is in the morning.
Ah, I see. I'll hug him
Yeah,
in the morning next
it's
time.
his favorite hug time. I don't know if your grandmother left.
I don't know.
Well, I'm hopefully gonna have TikTok videos to give you before the next
Maybe I'll
episode
post on
comes out.
Instagram. I say this every time, but I don't.
Um, I don't do social media. It's just not my
I
thing.
don't like doing social media.
The kid said something about a TikTok to me, and I was like, "Well, I mean, I have a TikTok." They're like, "You have videos?" And I was like, "Oh, no, I have a TikTok, but I don't these kids can't be trusted to even know I have a podcast." Um,
Mm, true.
no offense,
So yeah,
kids.
any other middle schoolers, their quote is now all your high schoolers listening.
I know, it's crazy that they're in high school, and I
Hey,
guys,
it's crazy. Your
there's
oldest is yeah, years out of college.
yeah, I know. It's crazy when I'm thinking how old my children are because 'cause they're like, "You have kids?" And I was like, "Well, not kids, like, mine are grown adults, like,
Yeah.
adults." Um,
Yeah. I am
so,
married.
yeah.
That makes it very adult, and I have a house, and I've
Yeah.
bought myself a car.
Yeah, I need to buy a car. But, go do something extraordinary.